Alrighty, welcome back everyone. I hope you all had a great weekend. Now, ever since the release of The Rise of Skywalker, a lot of fans have been very curious about the future of the Star Wars franchise and exactly where it's going by Disney and Lucasfilm to really create a new Star Wars universe. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, one thing about Episode 9 is that obviously this was J.J. Abrams in order to really deliver new Star Wars lore, everything related to the Sith Eternal, to the world of Exegol, to Palpatine's resurrection, to the Snoke clones, and how all of that is going to be further explained in the upcoming novelization, which, by the way, will be released later this March of 2020, so looking forward to that. I will be explaining more about the novelization of the film, so if you guys want to tune into that, should be pretty interesting. Now, on top of all of this, we do know that Disney and Lucasfilm have had a really tough ride when it came to the Star Wars franchise, especially with, I would say, The Last Jedi and Solo: A Star Wars Story being the big ones, but the biggest one of all was The Rise of Skywalker. Now, Kathleen Kennedy, J.J. Abrams, Chris Terrio, and even Mary Ann Brandon, the editor of the film, explained this repeatedly, that this was by far the most difficult production there was out of all the Disney Star Wars movies. And obviously, you know, we can see exactly why, because of all the reshoots that took place. Now, on top of all of this, everything related to Bob Iger and Kathleen Kennedy, this is where things begin to get rather intriguing. Now, it's explained that both Disney and Lucasfilm are currently focused on their new Star Wars trilogy and their expanded universe that is set to bring the Star Wars community into a brand new mythology of Star Wars. As of now, Disney CEO Bob Iger is said to be making massive changes to the Star Wars brand and to the creatives over at Lucasfilm, and that after the backlash that Disney got from The Last Jedi and the box office results from both Solo: A Star Wars Story and The Rise of Skywalker, Bob Iger is said to be on the hunt of firing Kathleen Kennedy and replacing her sometime in 2021. However, it's noted that Bob Iger wants to let go of Kathleen Kennedy right now, this instant, and fire her. However, there is currently no replacement for Kathleen Kennedy as of yet, and that Bob Iger is actively looking for a proper individual to take over Kathleen's position as president of Lucasfilm. Now, though Kathleen Kennedy is said to have lost her creative control on projects that will release after 2021, she is still involved with the ones that will release beforehand, and that Bob Iger is said to have an announcement later this year of who will be taking over as president of Lucasfilm, where it's explained that Kathleen Kennedy cost them too much money between initiating reshoots and letting go of many creatives that they had hired for previous projects, that Bob Iger wants what's best for Lucasfilm before he himself leaves in 2021, when he is going to leave not just Star Wars, but Disney entirely. This is said to be a big deal for Bob Iger, as he will be the one responsible for finding a proper replacement for Kathleen Kennedy, and that though he wants her to be let go right now, it's just impossible to do, as that there is nobody else to take over. So, I don't know about you guys, but I have expressed my views on Kathleen Kennedy numerous times, and say what you will about some of the Disney Star Wars movies. Yes, Rogue One, it's enjoyable. Yes, Solo was an okay Star Wars movie. You know, it wasn't the best. So, there were highlights here and there by Disney Star Wars. But Kathleen Kennedy in general, if you look at the history of all the Star Wars movies, there's always been trouble, either behind the scenes, or on the set, or during the development phase when they're trying to get the ball rolling. There was always a problem, all because of Kathleen Kennedy. And the latest big problem had to do with Kathleen Kennedy for the Kenobi TV series. It's one of the main reasons as to why production got delayed all the way from August of this year until January of 2021. Mind you, though, surprisingly, I don't know how, that's not going to lead to a change in the release date. But also, they never gave us a release date, so they could just be saying that, right? So, when we look at Kathleen Kennedy, obviously she's very incompetent. We've seen a great example of this with The Last Jedi, and with choices made in The Rise of Skywalker. You know, I think that when we look at these movies, obviously Kathleen Kennedy is not the best fit for Star Wars. What you need when you're a president of Lucasfilm, when you are running Star Wars, you need somebody who knows Star Wars, who understands Star Wars for what it is. Not just that it's about spaceships and lightsabers. it's also about the core elements of the Star Wars franchise that a lot of hardcore fans and casual fans even out there, just like myself, know exactly how it's structured. That's exactly who we need to run Lucasfilm. And obviously I think that Jon Favreau is a great option, and I think that Dave Filoni would also be a great option. But they are creatives at the end of the day. They need somebody who can also handle the business end and the creative end simultaneously, where it can be done in an effective way. So Bob Iger, obviously, the Disney CEO, he has expressed, some concern over Lucasfilm and Disney, especially with President Kathleen Kennedy. So with that being said, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Yeah.